Good evening and welcome to Hit the Bar. Tonight we've got Alan, Tom, Dill, and you might recognise him from the Trust podcast, David Freer, also known as Freeze.
Thank you.
So then lads, Chelsea. I'll start with a Chelsea fan. What did you think from the... We'll change it up a bit. We'll start from a Chelsea perspective. I know we're not a Chelsea podcast, but we'll start from a Chelsea perspective. What did you think of it for Chelsea?
It was a pretty tricky 45 minutes. First 45 minutes. I thought Morecambe played really, really well. And I use the word we. We restricted Chelsea to a couple of headers from corners, a couple of good saves by Harry Burgoyne, obviously including the penalty. Yeah. I think looking at it again, the ball was probably still in, but I thought the cross actually went out and he handballed it because he put his hand up to say the ball was out. And I thought the ball hit his hand when he was out of play. But if he's in on the pitch, does that still count? I don't know really where the ball is.
Funny thing was, I saw Mark
looked like on the line.
Mark Goldbridge was out. He did his own little watch along, and he was going mental. Like, that Morecambe player's just handballed. It's like this. It's like this. He's like, play Watson, calm down.
But I mean, it was
very.
I was a bit disappointed to go in 1-0 down, to be honest, because it was deflected. It was lucky. It was Tosin who couldn't score in a brothel with a bag of diamonds, basically, and they ended up getting another one. But but second half. Class. If you work it out, Chelsea brought on Gusto, who's in position to be the French right back, Cucurella, who is the Spanish left back, and Jadon Sancho, who was about to get back in the England squad. So to bring on, they were taking it pretty serious, weren't they?
You could tell. Yeah. Alan, do
you
you agree with that?
Yeah, we were in the game early on. We knew that we were never going to go out and throw everything at them, were we? We were going to sit back as our normal, and that's what we did. We were a bit unlucky with the penalty. It was one of those. It could have been given. It couldn't have been given.
We wouldn't have got it.
No, we don't get penalties. No, I don't think we would have done. And there were scares. Gave the penalty. Great save. Last week, I was calling him with his sticky shoes, but he got his sticky shoes off the line very early doors.
Harry has been brilliant these last few weeks.
Yeah, he certainly changed up.
I think he must have been watching this. He took all his criticisms and he sorted it out, really, hasn't he?
The problem was, it was a case of, you look at those three games, there was our game away, Salford was away, and Aki going to Liverpool, and there was a big bet on if anybody wanted to put a quid on one for them 3 wins, and it was no, we conceded 18, 19 goals. Was it a 5-0? No, probably not. No. And yet, they were good goals that they scored in the second half. But it was a £100 million player that was doing it, wasn't it? And we got a £100 player somewhere on the bench we can bring on. That £100 million player.
I don't think we got £100.
Dill, what did you think of the weekend? Did you enjoy it? You have a good one?
It's a fantastic weekend. I think that to have occasions like this is just good for building momentum going forward, because I think we're all a bit more spurred along, a bit more happier now going into some of the fixtures, knowing that we can play good football. Like, we look at what we came against and how well we defended in the first half against players who would walk into any team in League Two, and it's just like, why can't we do that in a league? I know the players are up for it a bit more because we're away at Chelsea, but it gives me faith, and I'm sure it gives a lot of other more people faith going forwards after that performance.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And moving on to the fans, Tom, what did you think of the atmosphere?
Phenomenal. Thought it was obviously one of the best I've been a part of.
It was brilliant.
The balloons excellently put on by the 1920 Union. Thought they did really well. Bit sad to see no one really turned around though. It's 19 and 20 minutes.
No, they didn't, did they? It was more of looking at the banners.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say much. I didn't like them, but you know what I mean. It's not many people did.
There was a lot going on though. Wasn't
there was.
We had a sensory overload when you get in there.
It's more of an applause, wasn't it? There's something happened on the pitch, right? Let's just applause and a bit of a shout at that time, more than turn the back on it and release any balloons. I think there was a bit unsure what people were going to do.
I think the most important thing is we all got behind the team, didn't we? We all got behind the team, no matter whether you were turning around or you were watching the game. Everyone, for 90 minutes, like everyone said, we got behind the team and we did our club proud, really, didn't we?
Well, there was only 2 Chelsea, fans in there, really, weren't there? Very close to the Morecambe fans,
there's some certain Chelsea fans giving a bit of stick. A certain Mr. Harris thinks about.
But I don't know. sometimes when you're at one end, you don't hear the chants at the other end. But there was no lull in the chant from the Morecambe end to hear anything else. It wasn't even at 4-0 and 5-0.
Around with Chelsea, I don't know if it's normally like this, but
No,
it was
Chelsea are fairly, shall we say, they're fairly easy-osy about the FA Cup. If you're a Man U season ticket holder, you have to buy. If they're drawn at home in the third round of the FA Cup, part of your season ticket agreement is you buy them for that and the Carabao Cup. Chelsea aren't that. Chelsea will put them on. They'll say no, you don't have to buy them. They'll put them on open sale. So consequently, they did have a lot of. You noticed yourself. There was a lot of Chinese.
A lot of day trippers. You could say.
Yeah, there was a lot of day trippers. So the people who are sat in the Matthew Harding where usually the singing comes from, they're not the usual lot. So, but like last night against Bournemouth, it was back to normal again, sort of thing. So that's fair enough.
I think a lot of teams are like that though. 'Cause
Yeah.
I went off to the Everton Peterborough game the other day, and Everton weren't singing. They're usually pretty loud.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and it's FA Cup.
Yeah, it's FA.
There's about 3 or 4 teams where they insist you buy the tickets, but Chelsea's not one of them, so that's fair enough. Gives everybody a chance, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And it gives us a chance to sing.
Yeah, very true. So moving on to this weekend, we're back in league action. We've got Crewe at home. Ryan Cooney will be back with Mazuma. So Tom, what do you think of that? How do you think we'll fare on Saturday?
It's a tough one to call because obviously they're going for playoffs. We're struggling.
We always are, right?
Yeah, they always are. They always seem to be.
How can you say we're struggling and unbeaten at home this year?
Very good. Yeah, in the league as well.
Yeah.
Hold on away.
In general, we're struggling, but I think it's one of them games where if we can turn up, get an early goal, we can go and win that game. I think Crewe, to their credit, obviously a fantastic side, but if we take an early lead, anything can happen.
That's very true. Very true. Dill, what's your opinions on Crewe? Do you think we could nick something there?
I agree with going ahead early, actually. We've seen it in the past with Derek's teams that we are capable of going ahead and staying ahead. I know this season, a bit earlier on, there was a few hiccups with later goals conceded, but I do think if we nick one early and we hold on, we're going to half-time strong, we just ride it out, play the subs right, we'll take something from that, absolutely, yeah.
Very, very true. But sometimes you can score too early, so... When's the ideal sweet spot, Dave? Where is it? What would you say?
There's never a bad time to score a goal, is there?
94th minute.
Yeah.
That's early enough.
Yeah, there is never a bad time. But I just hark back to the Crewe game when we were away and they got a dodgy penalty. And then sort of like 10 minutes into the second half, exactly the same incident. Luke Hendry goes past his man, he pulls him back, he smashes it into the crowd, gives a goal kick. Exactly the same as their penalty was given for the foul on Demetrio.
Yeah,
it's just been one of them seasons where we don't get them, other teams get them. So we could just do with a little bit of lady luck.
That is very true. That early Crewe game that Uwe won it weren't the best.
We did go toe to toe with them though.
Yeah,
I thought we didn't, even though it's probably the worst patch of the season. Because we lost. Was that our fourth game in a row?
We just kept losing.
We went toe to toe with them. We never gave them much other than the penalty.
No.
And we didn't really create much other than the Luke Hendry chance ourselves. It was a game of you had to take the chance. When it came to you, you didn't get many.
I don't think Crewe have signed many players, have they?
I don't know. I haven't actually.
I haven't seen that they signed anyone.
No.
To be honest.
Because obviously we know we need some in, but if you put the same team out, which I think you will, this Saturday as last Saturday, you'd be happy. You wouldn't, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, we'll see any new lads on Saturday. I know we've got Ryan Schofield and Callum.
He'll probably be on the bench.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I think there'll still be another one before. I think
will be another.
He said there was 4 or 5. Derek did say there was 4 or 5.
Well,
2 going out.
We need 4 or 5.
Oh yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
We need that. We need at least a strength in depth where we can affect games by. We've seen that many games this season where, and I'm thinking particularly the Chesterfield game and a few other home games where we've been in it for 75 minutes.
Yeah.
They brought 3 subs on, told us a new one,
goals.
and it's been like, whoa, what's going on here? So we need that strength in depth.
We do. We definitely do. So moving on to transfers then. We've gone so seamlessly into that. Well, I'll start with you, Freeze, actually. So what positions do you think we need to strengthen?
Well, I mean, we'd be daft if we weren't in for a forward.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Angle warming up at Stamford Bridge, actually, but obviously he was not in the proper kit like everybody else, so he's obviously a little bit away. I spoke to Quinny, and he says he's probably not he's maybe 3-4 weeks off, which is longer than we
Yeah.
thought. But it was nice to see him involved in the matchday squad. We just need somebody up front. Nothing against Dackers, he tries his best. Alamote tries his best. But we need just that little bit of quality in the box. Adam Lewis puts that many good balls in. Tollett beats his man and gets crosses in that many times. We've said just about every game this season we've created chances. We just need some
away.
Nobody to put them away. So it's got to be a forward, really, hasn't
Might
it?
get some of your ex-Morecambe friends on speed dial, eh?
Yeah.
Get them in. So, Tom, where else do you think we might need to strengthen?
I think we need a left winger.
Left wing.
I've been saying it. I think we need a player like a Guillaume, not as obviously injury prone as Guillaume, but someone who's a bit quick, can take a player on, can get past people and get that ball in the box. I know obviously Tollett's good, but he's not quick. He's not a player electric player, whereas I think Guillaume can. Guillaume can change a game. We need someone like that.
We've got Adam Lewis, and he's been played at the back. And if we could have a left midfielder or a left back cover, Lewis is there. I don't know why he's not been playing.
Yeah, he's not
There's
played the
obviously-
last few weeks, has he?
He's been given 10 minutes.
He's gone with Tutonda, hasn't he? And then
Yeah.
brought Lewis on.
But why? When Lewis just puts them crosses in, I don't know.
Well, I think he's probably getting sick of everybody putting the
Not-
crosses in and nobody getting
not
on
getting
it.
them.
Yeah, probably is. And if we do sign a forward, then that's someone there who can do that job for him. Maybe Adam Lewis
So
or
we need an experienced. I think we need an experienced forward. I don't think we go. I think going for a young forward's a bit of a risky one. If we go for someone who's like a League 2 or League 1 veteran, maybe gone the older side, knows how to score, has got a good record in this league. Obviously, it's hard to find on the free agent market, but it is doable, I think.
There's rumours in there as to who we're looking at and who we're not looking at. But
there's a certain man we seem to mention every week.
no. No, there's a young a lad from was it Forest? Not Forest.
Oh, Joe
Gardner. There's rumour, but played against us, didn't it?
That's actually come out in an Alan Nixon article, but you take them with a pinch of salt, don't you?
That's it. That's who's in for who. But
it is very interesting, the whole transfer business, and I always enjoy it.
Morecambe's first team from the first half of last season, they've all just about moved, haven't they?
They have. And getting into that, to be fair, we've had a couple, haven't we, recently? We've had
Mellon, Bloxham, JJ,
Dan Crowley.
Don Crowley, 4 or 5. They were our 6 loanees at the beginning of last year who absolutely gelled and made us into a team, and they've all moved on.
It's very interesting, to be fair, because I saw JJ's gone from Lincoln to Burton.
Yeah. Same league.
What do you think
He
about
wasn't
that?
getting a game, was it?
No, what do you think about that, Dill? It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
I'm not really sure what was going on there. I presume he's going to play for Burton, otherwise it's just a stupid decision. Because obviously if he's not playing at Lincoln, he's not developing. And when he was with us, he was developing really, really well. Obviously, I don't think they would have sent him back down to us. I don't know if anyone else will have been interested in our league. So yeah, you'd expect him to play at Burton, otherwise it's just going to hinder him a bit.
Yeah, it's a very odd one. He seems like a lad who probably should be starting for Lincoln, doesn't he? He's got some talent about him.
We're not on a good run of form. He could have changed it. I've said. He was only playing for us last year, but he could still. He was that bright spark. He's a creative player. He could have changed the game easy for him, I think.
Why is Dan Crawley moved then? You look at that one. Not counting much, is it?
Probably.
Right.
that or God told him to.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't deleted all his Instagram pictures yet of Notts County.
Just say people either moving up one or moving down as they get older or whatever. But those two are same league.
MK are good players though.
I read something about him. He didn't celebrate against MK Dogs, and I read something about him because I think he basically knew he was leaving. He knew he was leaving Notts County. He had 6 months left in his contract. They wanted a fee for him, I reckon.
Pretty interesting, actually. And there is quite an interesting side in Tom Bloxham. Speaking of stars, he's gone to Blackpool, hasn't he?
That's a really good.
How do you think he'll do there, Alan?
I think he struggled at Morecambe at times, and yet when he was on the ball, he could do things. I don't know. I've seen Blackpool a couple of times. I don't know the style of Blackpool's play, whether he'll fit in or not. If they want someone wide, then he's your man. He holds the touchline. He's got pace. He can get about. He's a tall lad for a winger, and yet he can get. He's got
Very
the pace.
deceiving player, isn't he?
Yeah. I presume that's where they're going to play him at right wing.
Yeah.
So.
He did all right for us, didn't he? Didn't like the heavier pitches though. He liked nice, decent surfaces.
Yeah.
Heavier pitches didn't suit him. You remember the Barrow game away, he
Wow.
struggled big time because he couldn't run. Same as Adam Mayer, really.
Yeah, that Barrow away last year, that pitch is horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not
Never
a
been
very,
played.
very nice pitch. I would want to play on that myself.
We won't.
So I'll go around. One sort of position you want to strengthen, and why, and who do you think? Just throw some random names out. Any players that you think would.
Jesus.
I like
It's a
that.
hard one, but I like to ask.
I like Dackers. I spoke to him on Monday. I'll drop a hint in where he shops. It's a shop with only 4 letters in its name, but that's where he was shopping. And he's enjoying his life. And his first season in league football, really.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to come good and bag 12 goals. He isn't. We do need a strike. We do need someone there. I honestly don't know who it is. I've said in the past. It's an experienced player coming down the league, dropping out of the league or wherever. I don't know who it is, though.
Any loans? Any Premier League loans? You reckon? Do you think that could happen?
No, not to
No.
us. Not Premier League to
We
us.
were looking to get Reece Williams. I don't think we're going to get any more.
Very true. So Tom,
As I said, left winger.
left winger. Any?
Love Adam Mayer
Would like to
back.
chuck an A at Adam Mayer?
If he
He
was
played well, didn't
available.
He
Played
did.
the
He
other night.
started from Millwall, didn't he?
Yeah, he played
He's
well.
only-
60
he's
So he
only-
minutes.
seems a bit of a
Start,
fringe
though.
player, though, doesn't
Been
he?
injured, hasn't
He does seem a bit. Yeah, he has been, but he's a bit of a fringe player. And bringing Chelsea up again, he was at Chelsea. He was in the
Chelsea.
crowd.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, "Oh, I want to be playing on that pitch." I said, "Well, yeah,
Yeah,
your
your
chance."
chance.
As harsh as it sounded, I thought, well, yeah, your chance.
What's there?
It's very true. Bill, where do you want to strengthen?
It's got to be a striker. Someone with a touch of quality who knows what they're doing. Just get on the end of the little things. The sort of balls that we're putting in that our strikers don't have the know-how to be in the right place or to direct the ball in the right directions. We need someone who knows what they're doing. I couldn't give you a name. I'm sure you want me to say Conor Wickham. But
You could say it.
He's out of a job today, isn't he? Garrett Lineker.
Yeah. Oh, what
Few packs
that?
of crisps.
And Freeze, down to you. Do you know any young Chelsea lads in the academy?
There is.
There
Money.
Was an absolute fantastic lad at Chelsea who's just turned 16. You'll find him in the match day squad pretty quickly because apparently they're calling him the new Messi. I think he's Algerian, and apparently he's the next big thing. So obviously we could take 1 or 2 from Chelsea off his hands. But if somebody said to me, "Who would you take back? Who could help us get out of the stick we're in?" And the first person I think is or perhaps now he's getting back from injury, Carlos at Bolton. So.
I know I'm a good
That could be
footballer,
good.
but I don't think I can get us out of this.
Right, well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been great. We've been the panel, and it's been Hit the Bar. We'll see you all next week.